Yeah, it was pretty crazy. I think that the first half was pretty crazy in itself, but we controlled it a little bit better. And then obviously, we score 3 goals so quickly into the second half, which the starts of second halves have been a problem for us, so that was a huge positive. And then on the bench, you get to 4-0 and it's like, what changes are we going to make to see the game out? And I'm like, they're not done here. Sky Blue are a very good side and really dangerous, and I just felt that if they got one, they could really get themselves back in it, and obviously, and that's what happened. And I think credit to the players, they didn't give up, and they kept working and kept driving and kept pushing and kept working really hard. A credit to the subs that came on. I thought KJ was very good. I thought Stotty did well when she came on, and I thought when we went and put Dave out wide and put Pino down the middle, that's what won us the game. And sometimes subs work and sometimes they don't, and I think when we got Dave into that position, which sort of stopped Kelly O'Hara's threat, I felt that we were a lot better in terms of shape and structure. But yeah, I can't deal with one of them again, really.
When it was 4-2, Naho got called for offside. Do you think that might have killed it off there? Or
Yeah.
That just...
Yeah, I think not that it would have killed it off, but obviously having 5 is better than having 4. But credit to Sky Blue, to me, they were never out of it. At 4, they were never out of it. And at 4-0, our best player was Cops. Like, that's reality. She'd pulled off some great saves. She'd kept us in it. She'd been clean. Her kicking was good. And, you look at, no disrespect to their goalkeeper, she's very good, but she didn't have to make a save tonight. And they've had 30-odd shots. 30-odd shots. 12 of them on target. And, one, we've got to address that because you can't allow teams to have that. But secondly, you've got to credit Cops because she pulled out some unbelievable saves at times. And I think without that, we would have, lost the game, for sure. I need to see the Naho one back because I thought it was harsh. But
I'm curious if the period of time when they scored all those goals,
mm-hmm.
do you think that your team is playing differently, or just that was they managed to find the opportunities to win there, or was the recovery sort of afterwards?
I think a bit of both. I think our team were being stupid, and I think their team had momentum. And that's football. Football's all about momentum. If you've got momentum, you've got to score goals when you have it. And a team's always it's gonna swing. And we had it and score forward goals. They had it and score forward goals. It's crazy. And I think that's something we've got to address because we know that teams are going to have momentum against us at times. But that's when we've got to make sure that we defend right. And I thought that we could have done better on all of their goals, really. So that'll be something that we talk about and address. We're having a few days off, but obviously with the national team meeting up and stuff, it gives us a chance to have a breather. But once we get back in at the end of this week, we'll address that in preparation for North Carolina. But we have 5 huge games coming up that I think change our season. And tonight, if you had told me that I would take a 5-4 victory at the start of the day, I would have taken it. Because 3 points was the most important thing tonight, and we've got them. So.
You talked about how when it was 4-0 to your advantage, the discussion was who were you going to bring in as a substitute?
Well, that was the discussion, and my reply was this game isn't won.
Right. At that point, or just at any point during the game, was there any consideration of bringing on Larissa Crumber because it was the first time in 18?
I think if we'd have kept to 4-0 till the 85th minute, maybe. She's been out a long time. She's had a long road to get back to where she's at, and we're really happy of where she is. But the way the game was, it was frantic, it was fiery. I think it would have been wrong to throw her into that, it being her first NWSL experience. I think, like I say, if we're 4-0 up, probably, but the way the game shifted, it just wasn't right.
You often bring Matthias back to right back when defensively, you just don't think that you need her press up top.
Yeah.
What was it about Sky Blue this game that made you think should be better?
How quick they are. Just how quick they are. You know, and I think they've caused teams a lot of problems with their pace. And in fairness, I don't really think it was their pace that caused us loads of problems tonight. They didn't score goals from getting in behind us. They scored goals from us not being able to defend crosses, which is something that we have to talk about and address, because it wasn't their pace that caused us the biggest problem. It was other things. So we've got to address that. And, you know, whatever. In some ways, coming away from this game with a victory, but knowing that we've got loads of things to work on is the ideal scenario. I think that when you get victories and you can glass over the cracks, sometimes you don't learn from it. We've got a lot to learn from this game, but we walk away with 3 points, which, like I said before, that was the biggest priority today, 3 points.
You drew with them at the start of the season.
Yeah.
You had tonight's crazy match.
Yeah.
And they're lingering out there in a couple of weeks, back east, and then possibly even a fourth match down the road if it's both teams make postseason. What can you take from the matches you played against them already, taking back east against them, knowing you're facing them in a few weeks?
I think two things. When we keep the ball and we move the ball and we're confident with the ball, we nullify their threat. When we give the ball away in silly areas of the field, we put ourselves under pressure, and you can't give players like Sam Kerr, Kelly O'Hara, whoever, name them, space and time in the box. You can't. I think that's the things you have to learn from it. And I think when we played them in the first game, their pace was a big issue to us. I think we solved that tonight. But then they've proven that they've got other threats aside from just pace, which we knew, but we didn't solve it quick enough. And it's different here than it is away, because their field is huge, massive. So in some ways their threat is a little bit different away from home than it is here. But yeah, we've got huge 5 games. North Carolina twice, Chicago, Sky Blue, Portland. Don't get much tougher than that. So one off the chopping block, that was tonight.